recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You're like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
Erin.
I haven't started cooking more, but I have started thinking about cooking more, so I've looked at a lot of recipes for things. Mostly cocktails.
Zakia.
I'm a very happy evil genius.
Yeah.
And Nick.
For all the listeners out there, if you spend enough money, you can be where I am today.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan, and I'm here today with Nick Groves. Hello, Nick.
You know, it's one of my favorite things now to try to figure out whether you're going to go me first or second. And I can see it in your eyes when you try to, like, in the moment make the decision. There's that brief period of panic where you realize you haven't figured out what you want to do yet. And it makes me very happy.
I literally am like getting to that point, and I look and I'm like, oh, there's Erin. Oh, there's Nick. Oh, who should I go with first? Oh, no.
Yep. You recover very well, but for a moment in your eye, there's a flash of terror.
Yep, no, I get it. Terror might be too strong of a word, but there is indecision.
Mild annoyance.
Yes. And Erin Barkley is with us today, too. Hello, Erin.
Unlike Nick, I don't have a spreadsheet of when I'm called out first or not, so I don't have any feelings about it. So just going to say good morning, everybody.
You know, guys, before we introduce our guests, I want to share something fun with you. Just bought a house.
Woo!
So, yeah, we are moving in the summer.
So this is a good time to announce that Patreon fees are going to double moving forward.
No burden on you, promise. Yeah, I'm planning to move after the school year in the summer, but I've purchased it, and I have a couple of months to do all the stuff that needs to happen to it in between when I purchased it and when it moved in. But I wanted to share that mostly to tell you that during the inspection, Sarah went to the inspection and had a peacock in the backyard. Full-grown male peacock, large, just hanging around the backyard with the ducks. It's a good backyard, and there's a pond right next to it. And I am so excited to be in a place where that can happen, where you can have a peacock strolling through your backyard. So I'm excited about that. I want to share it with you.
He's living like a king.
It's awesome.
I've
seen those pictures before, Jonathan. Versailles is a very big purchase. I'm very happy for it.
All right, guys. Well, let's introduce our guest. First up, Matty Kimberlin is with us today. Hello, Matty.
Hey, Jonathan. Good to be back. It's been years.
Has it been years?
It's been years since I've been on the main show. I'm not sure exactly when it was, but it's been at least a couple years.
Too long, my man. Too long. All right, and Christian Hernandez is with us today. Hello, Christian.
Hi, I'm really happy to be on today.
It's been years for you, too, but this is your first time.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. I want to get to know both of you a little bit better. Matty, we're going to start with you. Tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Well, let's see. I am from Anderson, Indiana, which is about 45 minutes from downtown Indianapolis. I am a personal shopper, and a fun thing about me. Let's see what's fun recently.
This is what happens when you spend so many years as a nomad and you finally settle down.
Seriously.
You're like, what is going on in my life?
I'm so domesticated now that it's just like, what even is fun?
I mean, I do have a question for you.
Yes.
I get really irritated sometimes with shopping, right? So you've described yourself as a personal shopper.
Correct.
There are very few jobs that I think I would like less than that. Do you truly put yourself through the anxiety and frustration of going shopping for people, and how does that fulfill you?
You know, that's a funny thing. I think about this a lot, actually, and this is going to sound like the most like squishy, namby-pamby answer ever, but I have a lot of customers, and one of the things, I mean, I've done this since the beginning of the pandemic when it tanked my bar trivia company, and some of us don't have this like international bar trivia company that we can just can survive forever.
Nick, I'm not sure if that was a dig at me or at you. It was one of us.
Why not both?
Not me, that's for sure.
So
who was it intended for, Matty?
Well, it was squarely on Nick.
Oh, good.
Your empire should stand forever.
Thank you.
With peacocks to spare. But so the thing is that over the 4 years I've been doing this, and definitely the 2 years here in Indiana, I've built up a clientele, and I have folks that I go out for regularly, older folks that can't get out or whatever. And being able to take care of people in that way is really fulfilling. And, it's one of those things where I'm at the store, I have a list, and, I have to look out for things for people, and whatnot, but it's not like I don't have the anxiety of like trying to figure out what to buy. And for the most part, I'm just making life easier for other people, and taking care of people like that is actually, it's a really fulfilling thing. It's certainly a lot more fulfilling than I ever was as a lawyer. So,
that's really cool, actually. So you see it. As...
Sorry, Erin.
I was going to say, there's the knock at Erin, the perfect triumph.
Hold on, Christian. He doesn't know what you do for a living yet, but by the end of this show, you might get attacked.
Boom, roasted.
So, Matty, that was actually a really good answer. I'd never considered it as a service industry in a way, and if you have a direct connection or a meaningful connection, then that's pretty cool, man. Good deal.
And my oof was because I was sitting here thinking, like, that does sound amazing, like that opportunity to connect with people on that level. And I wonder how I can get into that line of work. I need to say this now before I forget, Matty, I didn't notice this when I was in the same room as you, but you reminded me a little bit of one of my exes. So if I am mean to you today for no reason, that's the reason. Sorry.
Erin, do we all remind you of one of your exes?
Is that why you're mean to everybody else?
The worst part is that she already sent a message to my wife to try to represent her.
Wow. Christian, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Yes, I'm Christian. I am from Garfield, New Jersey. I am also an attorney.
You dug all of us in your intro.
Something interesting about myself. I was part of the world record holding zombie walk in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Sweet.
What is that?
A bunch of people dress up as zombies and shamble around the streets, freaking out the people.
That didn't realize it was happening.
Yeah, so one year we actually had the Guinness people come in to count everybody. And so they put up like turnstiles going onto the beach, and a bunch of people dressed as zombies walked through the turnstiles, got counted, and then just kind of stood there bleeding while this was all happening.
Do you have a picture of Zombie Christian?
Yes, I do.
Oh, when I post the episode and do the spoiler thread, I'd love a picture of Zombie Christian in the spoiler thread, and I will also post a picture of my erstwhile peacock.
Sure.
Jonathan, just to be clear here, Zombie Christian, we generally refer to him as Jesus, and that's not quite
I didn't see that one coming. All right. Well, that is very cool. Christian, I'm super glad to have you today. We're going to have a great time, and we're going to get started with it right now with Warm It Up Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
All right. Warm It Up Chris. Or Warm It Up Christ.
Founded in 1971, today the Hard Rock Cafe has venues in 74 countries, 172 bar or cafe restaurants, 37 hotels, and 4 casinos worldwide. I want you guys to give me a city that has a Hard Rock Cafe. The catch is, put that face away, Nick. The catch is, you can only give me ones from the drop downs for South America, Middle East, Africa, and Asia Pacific. So no North America, Europe, or that's
Hold
it.
on, let me write that note down. You said South America.
South America, Middle East, Africa, and Asia Pacific. So New York, London, Miami, no.
Yeah,
Too easy.
not Europe and not North America.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The reason I had a face is because just before you get into it, Sarah collected Hard Rock Cafe T-shirts from all the ones that she had been to.
Oh, cool.
And after we had 60 or 70 T-shirts just taking up space.
That's a lot of freaking visits to Hard Rock cafes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them.
We ended up turning it into a quilt. So we cut up all the T-shirts and we took all the logos and everything and we put them into a quilt, which hangs on the wall that I look at every day with Hard Rock Cafe and location.
I'm going to need you to turn your back to the wall.
It's not in this room, so we're good.
Great. Matty, we're going to start with you.
I assume there's got to be a Hard Rock Cafe Dubai.
There is. There's actually 3. There's Dubai Airport, and Dubai Blue Waters Rock Shop.
I mean, I knew that, but I didn't want to flex.
Yeah.
All right, Chris?
Let's try Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires Aero Park Rock Shop. Oh, I guess that's just rock. It's not rocks like minerals. It's rocks like hard rock. Sorry. Yeah, Buenos Aires is right.
It's probably just their shop inside the restaurant.
It is. I don't think things through. I just cold read. Jonathan, your turn.
Hold on one second. Sebastian, stop whistling. He learned how to whistle, but terribly, like a couple weeks ago, and now he's just nonstop doing this. Oh my God. What was I going to say? I was going to say Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo. Oh, remind me what country that's in?
Brazil.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, making sure. It is not on the list.
That is hugely surprising.
It is.
It's the biggest city on the continent.
Yep.
How about it? All right, cool.
So here's what I'm going to say is that the list I'm looking at is on their official website. It is possible that one of these is like a suburb of Sao Paulo. I will do some digging while we are talking. But Nick, we're going to go to you.
There is another one in Brazil. It's in Ribeirão Preto.
That is on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Nick is.
Well, where the hell is Ribeirão Puerto?
It's in the south.
It's in the south. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, it's also the capital of the world government in the Ender's Game series.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
this is Nick showing off. That's what this is.
I announced I have a quilt with all of the answers on it in the other room that I see on a daily basis.
He knows he's not going to get any of the other questions, so he's trying to flex now.
Fair.
Matty, back to you.
Asia Pacific, does that include Oceania? Do we know?
No.
Okay. There's got to be a
Tokyo.
I don't think there are any Hard Rocks in Australia.
Yeah, there don't appear to be.
Okay. I mean, there's Uluru, but all right.
Tall Rock Cafe is not what she's looking for.
Let's go for the Hadoroku in Tokyo.
Yes, I see what you did there. Yeah, there's 2 in Tokyo. I'm not going to try to pronounce them because I can't do that without sounding racist, so I don't. But yeah, 2 in Tokyo. Chris?
Let's try Beijing.
No.
Oh.
I'll tell you, there are 3 in China, and I will steer you away from that country because I think that maybe there's a cultural reason why there aren't any there. Jonathan.
I thought you just said there were 3 in China.
There aren't many. There aren't as many. I feel like you'd expect there to be a ton more, and there's not.
So okay.
I'm trying to be helpful here.
I just got conflicted because you said there's 3, and then you said why there's not any there, and then that was confusing.
No, that's completely fair.
All right, it's back to me?
It's back to you.
I'm going Cape Town.
Yep. Cape Town,
Woo-hoo!
South Africa, indeed. Nick.
Santiago, Chile.
Santiago is there. Matty?
Well, let's mix 2 musical styles. Let's say there's a Hard Rock in Seoul.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
No, there is not a Hard Rock in Seoul, which is...
Erin, you sound so disappointed when you have...
I am. Because I feel like there should be. I also just want to make sure that I'm not not seeing it. Okay. Sorry, Matty.
Seoul would
Chris,
be in
back to you.
the Asia tab.
Right, which is why I'm double checking because I expected it to be correct.
I also don't think you should not see anything.
There might be one in Berlin, but let's not do that.
I wonder if there's a Hard Rock in Rock City, Tennessee, because then wouldn't it be Hard Rock City, Tennessee? That'd be amazing.
Hard Rock City. Chris,
It's your
sorry.
turn.
So let's try Singapore.
Yes, there are 3 in Singapore. There's one in Singapore, one at the airport, and there's a rock shop there as well.
Are we counting hotels?
I don't know, man. I'm just looking at the list on their website.
Okay.
We'll find out when we get back to you, Jonathan.
If there wasn't one in Sao Paulo, I'm going to say there must be one in Rio de Janeiro.
You are going to be disappointed. Rio de Janeiro does not appear on this list.
There's one in Rivera Puerto, and there's not one in Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro?
Got to stick it with the world government.
Wow. I am perplexed.
Nick?
Santa Cruz, Bolivia.
Yes. Is that a hotel?
No, it's not. It's just a restaurant.
Matty?
All right. Nick's deep cuts here. Completely.
He's being kind to us by taking those.
I'm just staying in South America, to be honest.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. So let's go with Hard Rock Bangkok.
You just like the ones that are fun to say. Yeah. That does exist. Yeah, there is one in Bangkok. Yay. Chris?
Let's try Mumbai.
Does Mumbai have a different name?
I mean, it was.
Or am I making that up?
But it would.
Okay, that's what it is.
Mumbai at this time.
Gotcha. I've asked that question so many times, so many different ways. I can't remember which is which, but it's not on the list either way. Sorry. The economics. So I didn't look at this whole list, obviously, because it's long. The economics and the cultural implications of this list is actually really, really interesting. And I might go on a deep dive about this later because there's some that you would absolutely expect to have them that don't. And I'm sure there's a good reason. Jonathan.
Unless it's closed, I want to say there is one in Mumbai.
Okay.
Nick is challenging the Hard Rock website.
I am challenging the Hard Rock website based on my
source quilt.
It's like, I got a shirt from there, okay?
When this is done, I'm going to look it up.
So it is temporarily closed, so I will give it to you.
Yeah.
Because the structure is
wow.
Under renovation.
Thanks, Nick.
Nice.
All right, you said my turn?
It is your turn.
Cairo.
I don't have a Cairo.
God. I feel like I've seen Cairo on a shirt. Darn it.
I mean, I can...
Orange categories with me.
No, I don't have a Cairo, so that's obviously can't be right.
Clearly.
So here's the thing, and this is kind of what I was trying to say.
I'm not challenging, by the way. I'm not. I don't know that. Yeah.
There is. I'm looking at this list. Egypt, boop, rock shop, boop, boop. Not that you're going to get any of these. And then I Google Hard Rock Cairo, and there is apparently a Hard Rock Cairo. So that's part of a hotel. So it's not considered. Whatever.
Oh,
So
well,
no
I bet
hotels,
you
see?
that's interesting.
Yeah. I'll look up the others while y'all are talking, and we'll do a doodle-doodle if we want. Nick.
I know there's one in Tierra del Fuego, but I don't remember the name of it. It was like Urushala or Urshala or something along. Urushaya. There's a Hard Rock down there at the embarkment point for the Antarctic trip.
Is that Argentina? Yeah.
Argentina,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ushaya, you said?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep, that's there.
Yeah.
Damn it, Nick. Whatever. We can go around one more time. Matty, back to you.
Well, if Dubai worked out so well, let's go for Abu Dhabi.
Sticking with the fun things to say.
Yeah, alas, does not appear to be on the list, which, again, doesn't make sense. It's probably in a hotel somewhere. Yep. There it is. Well, wait. Huh.
Is it like a Hard Rock Live?
I think they probably open and close frequently. I bet you there are places that had them and lost them because they weren't doing well or pandemic or whatever. So it's probably a very flexible situation.
And it's not like it costs the franchise anything. So, when I guess I spelled Dobby like it. Beep, beep. I Googled Hard Rock Abu Dhabi.
Dobby?
ASSHOLE.
Master Dobby a sock.
It gave me, the first response was the Hard Rock Cafe Dubai, but then the little side Google thing where it gives me a map and stuff is the Hard Rock Cafe located in Abu Dhabi, UAE, which is not on their list. So, I mean, whatever. You can have it. Yeah, points.
You would think that a company's website would be a fair usage of a
solid source
thing.
for where
I
it
have
exists.
absolutely no qualms about the
it's no
sourcing
quilt.
of this game.
Well, good. Yeah. Again, I got it done like yesterday, which never happens. So there's going to be some gaps somewhere. Chris?
All right, let's try Macau.
Nope.
Okay.
Sorry. Ooh. Jonathan, back to you.
I have failed a lot in this one. I know I've seen this on a shirt. It's probably wrong. I'm saying Moscow. Unless Moscow's technically in Europe, but I think it's
Moscow's
Asia.
in Europe.
Well, screw Moscow then. It's not Moscow. Not in Europe.
I mean, you want to take another stab because rather than quibble about where it is, it's not on the list. So
Sure. I'll guess Addis Ababa.
Ethiopia.
No.
Of course not.
No. Yeah.
I'm starting trivia back up there. I just got that email this week.
We don't know what to do with that information, Nick.
Yeah.
I just got that email. Speaking of which, let me know when it's my turn.
It is your turn.
Okay. Someplace where I have hosted trivia before. Lagos, Nigeria.
God, I hate you. It's right.
I thought Addis Ababa was a fun one.
So just to sort of, I won't read all of them because there are many. The Brazil ones, it's places I've never heard of, which makes me wonder these might be like suburbs of Rio or whatever. Middle East, you've got Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa, Tunisia, and UAE, and that's it. Asia, there's 3 in China, again, which I can't pronounce, but none of them are the bigger cities that you've heard of. Nothing else really of interest. The list itself was kind of interesting, but yeah, I am going to go find out why there aren't more in places you'd expect there to be.
I'm honestly
Chris.
I'm honestly shocked that Matty didn't use my favorite Hard Rock location, which is beep.
Phuket.
And,
am I pronouncing it wrong?
Yeah. That's nice. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, and beep are the 4 in Thailand.
Roll, help me.
We're helping you. You see how entertaining we're being?
Thanks, Nick. All right, that is your warm it up, Chris, for the episode. Thank you, Erin, and thank you, Hard Rock Cafe, for being very challenging with your website in its accuracy.
Yep.
So, big announcement for us. We are getting back with BetterHelp as a sponsor. Very excited about that. I know there's folks who skip over some of the middle parts of the show, so I want to make sure that you know that go to betterhelp.com/TWA. Get a discount. It is a online therapy service, and I've used it, and it's really good. So just want you to know that's out there. You can listen for more in the midpoint. Today's game, this is going to be number 466, which means, honestly, Erin, Nick, we need to start planning 500 here pretty damn soon.
Don't talk to us. Talk to Scott. We just have to show up.
If you are enjoying this show, which honestly, I wouldn't blame you if you're not. It's got a lot of Nick so far.
Nick's here.
But if you are enjoying this, you can get more. Go to trivialwarfarearmy.com, sign up as a sergeant or higher, and you will get access to basically twice as many episodes. We put on a show every week, but half of them are on the Patreon feed. So head over to trivialwarfarearmy.com and sign up for that. And today's game is going to be Jonathan and Christian versus Matty and Nick. Erin is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
Round 1, question 1, category is capitalism.
Yay!
A headline. Yay. We're starting strong. A headline in the Seattle Times targeted a specific demographic. Quote, "Are you a proud blank blank owner? We want to hear from you." What 2 words go in that blank? You can find them at Target in theory, but not in Miami, St. Paul, Columbus, Buffalo, San Jose, Ottawa, Nashville, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Phoenix, or Seattle. I'll paste it.
Matty, I like my answer better.
That's because you can spell.
All right, are we locked in?
We are locked.
All right, Christian, we can just start talking.
Do
you know what the hell they're talking about?
Find them in theory at Target.
Because it's not a hot or cold thing. St. Paul's very cold. Buffalo very cold. You can find them in Target.
I know that pit bulls are illegal in Miami.
Oh. You can't find a pit bull at Target, though.
Yeah.
That would make shopping so much more fun.
But
pit bull is from Miami, so that also is a kink in the armor here.
That's why it's ironic that they're illegal.
He is Mr. Worldwide.
Mm-hmm. And it's a headline in the Seattle Times, but Seattle's one of the places listed where you cannot find them.
Would this be the Stanley
Cup? Stanley Cup.
Okay.
I was looking at it. And I'm like, these are cities. Wait, these sound like maybe sports cities. There we go. It's those damn cups. And that's why Nick got it so fast, because he likes them.
And it's Erin. Of course, there's a hockey connection.
Yep. I think we go Stanley Cup.
That's great, yeah.
All right, we're locked in.
All right, Matty, you're going to have to answer for your team because Nick has vanished.
Yeah,
what happened to Nick?
I don't know.
Who cares?
He fled into the dunes. But, yeah, so... apparently right now
there's an image, guys. There's a background that Nick's using that is sand dunes. That is why there are jokes.
Yes.
Sorry, there was a big crash, and I wanted to make sure that nobody was dead.
They'd still be dead at the end of the recording.
Well, yeah, seriously, they'd still be there. The bodies are pretty semi-warm. So this is something I've run into in the news in the last couple of weeks, but yeah, apparently bougie white ladies are now really into the insulated mugs that have caused much confusion because they, like a certain sports trophy, are also known as Stanley Cups.
Nick literally left to go get his Stanley Cup so he could drink it in front of us. That is the only reason he walked away.
That's because Nick is a bougie white lady.
He sure is. Yeah.
So are some of our audience members, Matty.
And I love bougie white ladies. I'm just pointing out Nick is a member of that
bougie
group.
white lady.
They also contain lead, so that's fun. It is Stanley Cup.
Everything contains lead. It's good for you.
I didn't know there was all the drama surrounding the Stanley Cups when it started happening at the turn of the year. And I was just like, it's not playoff season yet. What are we doing? And then I realized that, so all my questions about those make some sort of nod to Lord Stanley's Cup, which is made of silver and not lead. Round 1, question 2, awards show drama. After an investigation that broke in early January 2024, what cable channel had to return 37 Emmy Awards that were awarded to fictitious people? The network would win the awards, then have the statues re-engraved to be given to ineligible on-air talent.
Paste,
We're locked in.
please. Oh, no. See, I told y'all this teaming was BS. Nick and Matty with their current events watching. Christian, do you know the answer straight away?
I do not know.
Okay, so we have to figure. What cable channel, not streaming channel, Erin? Specifically
Correct.
Cable channel. Okay.
TV. Yep.
What makes a person ineligible to win an Emmy? Because that might reveal what kind of people we're talking about. Like, is this like the Weather Channel? They're ineligible because they're meteorologists. Is it Cartoon Network, maybe? Like, they gave it to cartoons because they're ineligible? Or Comedy Central because they're... we're very limited when we talk about cable channels, believe it or not, you know?
Yeah, this is a strange question.
Maybe Discovery Channel gave their Emmys to Ancient Aliens. The Animal Planet gave their awards to sharks for Shark Week.
Pretty sure by the rules of the Emmys, the sharks are eligible.
Okay. Ineligible on-air talent. Okay, it's not cartoons. It's on-air talent.
What would make someone ineligible, though?
I do not know.
Would this be like a union thing, or?
I do not know. How do you get an Emmy for a fictitious person? Like an editing Emmy? Like that you claimed that this was an editor? Like maybe it's a group award, the editors of blah blah, and you added a name that's not real. So you could give it to a person instead.
About another minute.
Do you think stand-up comedy, like Comedy Central?
Why would they be ineligible, though?
I don't know. You know what I think, now that I think? How about Fox News?
Sure.
Cable channel, They've shown that they do some shady BS in the realm of I wouldn't put it past them. That's probably the best answer I have.
I'll go with that, yeah.
Okay, we'll guess Fox News.
Okay. Locked in with Fox News. Nick and Matty, what did y'all say?
All right, so this one, this is actually a really crazy scandal. Basically, apparently, I think the deal is that like the on-air talent weren't eligible to win, and so they would make up production people. And so, like, if they wanted to give, say, a Kirk Herbstreit or Chris Fowler or something like that, a Sage Steele, an Emmy to be able to put in the background when they were doing their spots on SportsCenter, then ESPN would make up fake production people and have them win the Emmys. And so the ESPN is our answer. The worldwide liar.
The worldwide liar in sports. Okay, after Erin talks and tells us what's up, I want to ask questions.
I'm also excited to hear the answers to these questions. I didn't dig into it as much as it sounds like, Matty, you have. The answer is ESPN, and that was the wildest headline I've seen in a long time.
That is wild. So why are they ineligible?
Yeah, I never got to the bottom of that. I guess it's something like in the, say like if College Game Day won the Emmy, that for that, it might be like kind of like a Grammy thing where you have like the song of the year that's the songwriters or whatever. But I don't know. Somehow it was only maybe it's the makers
a union
of the show
thing. Like you have to be SAG-AFTRA or something.
No, the ESPN on-air talent won't win the category. They're getting outclassed by the other people in the category. So they're winning producer awards and giving them to the on-air talent.
So they're just not. They're eligible to win. They're just not getting nominated because they're not good.
They're not going to. Yeah.
I take umbrage with the wording of the question now. No, I don't.
The on-air talent. No. They're winning Emmys that they're not eligible for. That is correct. They're eligible.
They're not eligible because they didn't
Emmys.
get nominated, not because they're not allowed to be nominated.
No, they're not allowed to be nominated for a producer award as on-air talent. They're not a producer.
Oh, I see. That's the ineligibility you're talking about.
Right. They are capable of being nominated for on-air talent, but then they're competing with, actual television shows.
Wow, that is wild.
Right.
Cool.
So you're going to vote for Kirk Herbstreit or you're going to vote for Trevor Noah? Right? Like Trevor Noah is going to win that.
I don't know. Maybe they need a sports award. Trevor Noah's
they do.
Not great at sports.
They're called the ESPYs. They made their own award show just so they could
You know what? Honestly,
award.
You're right. I can't argue. I don't really want to argue. It's not. I agree, actually.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They're not. It's not that they're not eligible to get Emmys. They can get Emmys. They just have to be better at what they do.
Apparently, they can't.
No.
All right. Round 1, question 3, category is products.
I use those.
Mars Candy owns Wrigley, whose eponymous chewing gum was only sold to soldiers during World War II. What was the name of their civilian brand gum? It was abandoned shortly after the war, but was pulled back into our lives by the gravity of the chewing gum craze of the early aughts.
Yeah, we're on the same page. You want to go with it?
Yeah, let's go with it.
Lock it in.
Thank you, Matt. Dog it up.
So my thought here is those words about being pulled in by gravity, those don't seem to be accidental. It sounds placed there. And so the one brand that kind of hits that for me, I don't know if I'm trying to not mix it up with the travel website. I'm not sure if it's Orbit or Orbits, but the one that's the dirty mouth.
Yeah.
That one with the British lady. I think that's
right.
My best guess.
You're throwing me here because I have a vivid picture in my head of spearmint gum with the Wrigley's logo like above the word spearmint.
No, there is definitely Wrigley spearmint gum, but that's been sold continuously. It's the one that's white with like black and green. That one's a brand that's.
Oh, you're saying that? Okay, you're not saying that spearmint's not a Wrigley gum. You're saying that spearmint isn't the civilian equivalent of.
Right, because she's saying there's one that like didn't exist after the war and then was reanimated. That sounds bad, but yeah.
Isn't Orbits
zombie gum?
The zombie gum.
Zombie Christian zombie gum.
All right, I want to say Orbits comes in a cup and is cubes. That does not ring true for 1940s with me.
I would tend to agree with that, although I mean I have no idea what they would have done for the war, but I would think that this might be more the use of the brand name as opposed to the specific makeup
deliveries.
Product.
Right. So you're saying not only was Orbits. All right, look, you're Matty Kimberlin. I'm me. I'm not going to argue with you here. We lock in with Orbits.
Well, so is it Orbits or is it Orbit?
We lock it with Orbit.
Cool. Christian and Jonathan.
Yeah, we both just clued in on your prompt there about the gravity of that, so we went with orbits as well.
I was really waiting for Nick to talk you guys out of the right answer. It is orbits.
That would have been awesome.
Once again, my decision of going with Matty's answer was correct. I am 3 for 3 here.
Yep, your instincts are good, buddy. After the first round, Jonathan and Christian have 20, Matt and Nick have 30. Round 2, question 1. So who owns the copyright? Sports Illustrated made headlines in December when one of their authors, Drew Ortiz. Ortiz's bio says that his goal was, quote, to guide you through his never-ending list of the best products to keep you from falling to the perils of nature. What is controversial about Drew Ortiz?
If he works for Sports Illustrated, I'm assuming he's fake and won an Emmy.
Let's do it, man.
All right, let's lock it in.
All right. Matty and Nick, you can talk it out.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I think I heard about this about the same time as the ESPN controversy. But so this guy, I'm pretty sure I think there were more than one, which, I mean, the comfort in that is that he's not one of the people that got fired when Sports Illustrated fired everyone a week or so ago when they laid off their entire staff. But I'm pretty sure Drew Ortiz is an AI creation. I don't think he exists. So that is that's what I think is the right answer here.
Okay. And Christian and Jonathan.
What would he know about the perils of nature if he's AI? That doesn't make any sense, Matty.
That's why it's controversial.
Nothing in this mad world makes sense anymore,
Unlike
Jonathan.
you, we came up with a good answer.
So I remember reading about this before SI completely created that they were using artificial intelligence as authors and giving them names. And I think that's the right answer on this.
That's right. We locked in with artificial intelligence. You see? It's different.
So at the top of every Orange Cat show, I go through the rules of the show, and rule number 1 and 5 is don't be a beep. And I say being a beep includes but is not limited to shouting out answers, even if they're joke answers, because you might give someone a hint, or you might actually shout out the right answer as a joke answer, like Nick did. It is he doesn't exist, he's AI, he's fake, he's any one of those things would have been correct.
Did not have her win an Emmy.
Stop being a beep, Nick. Oh wow, those rhyme really well. Oh.
You're just coming to this.
Well, I don't think about your name when you're not on the screen with me.
That's most of the time, to be fair. I am reading this article about Drew Ortiz, and this is why AI can't write articles, because this article is like, we asked Sports Illustrated about Drew Ortiz, and he has now disappeared. He cannot be found. We are going on a search for him.
He was rebooted.
He's hanging out on an island. He's on an island hanging out with Lene Kukua, Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
Right.
Round 2, question 2, your category is fun and games. The box man, who is seated and manages the chips, 2 base dealers who collect and pay bets, and the stick man, who has a long stick, are the 4 casino employees who run what table game?
I guess we could lock in.
Yeah.
All right, you've locked in?
Matty, the real sorry, Jonathan, real quick, just to clear something up, Matty. I also would like to play the game. So if you could just...
This seems like the kind of game, Christian, that Nick has definitely played. Matty may have played. I would not engage in this behavior because I don't understand how the hell this game really works, and I don't want to learn, but I think it's craps.
Yes, I am in that same box where I've tried to learn what's going on in this game, and it just does not compute for me, but I think you're right.
I don't want to bet on just the roll of the dice like that. I want more to it. Anyway, we're saying craps.
Okay. I do see what you did there. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say anything until you locked in. Matty and Nick?
Did I do something? Because it was unintentional if I did.
You said you didn't want to roll the dice?
I said I didn't in real life. Like, I don't want to bet.
Yeah. He doesn't want to play craps.
Okay. I thought it was anyway.
Was I clever in a way that I didn't understand?
I thought so, but apparently Nick disagrees.
Clever. Amazingly clever.
All right, so the whole
clever,
game starts. The whole game starts with the pass line versus the don't pass line, and what that means is that you are betting on whether or not. And we've lost Erin. Craps is the right answer.
It is. Craps is the right answer. The thing that I love about craps is that it doesn't matter if you don't know how to play, because it's a social game. like I'll play with friends and just pick someone across the table and make every bet that they make, so that when I win, they win, we win together. It's fun. It's a really cool way to meet people, and I enjoy it. It's really the only casino game I'm interested in playing. But it is craps, and you roll dice. Yeah, good job.
The only time I bet on craps is eating at Taco Bell.
With craps, A, why does it have such a terrible name? B, and I'm assuming you guys are smart, one of you will know the answer to that. B, is the betting like the way that you bet roulette, where there are, okay, I'm just betting odds or evens here, or I'm just betting above 7 or below 7 here, or is it truly 7 and 11 are great and everything else sucks?
Do you really want to know?
At the highest level,
at the
less than 30
level,
seconds.
You are betting on whether or not the person throwing the dice is going to win or lose. If the first time they get the dice, the first time they throw, a 7 or 11 is an automatic win. They automatically win. So you're betting that they will throw a 7 or 11 because it's the most common. After they throw that first throw, that sets the point. And then they have to hit that number a second time before they throw a 7 or 11. No.
Okay.
So if you throw a 4, then you're betting on whether or not they will throw another 4 before they throw a 7.
Oh. And every other every other number doesn't matter?
Every other number. Well, no, because you can bet they're going to throw an 8 before they throw a 4 or a 7. They're going to throw a 10 before they throw a 4 or 7.
Well, that's just
so in
random
that way, it is
numbers.
like roulette, where you have a bunch of weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can bet if they're going to throw a 10. You can bet if they're going to throw a 10 as a 6 and 4 or a 5 and 5. Like there's a lot of different options, and I don't know what any of them means. I just pick the most attractive dude at the table and bet with him.
Yeah, she and I win a lot.
Damn it.
Also, Jonathan, craps is a slang word for toad in French. So that's the origin.
Why
of
would
the
they
name.
name a game Toad, Nick?
Because a bunch of people crouching and sort of leaning over a table, it reminded the French of
Did you
toads.
just make that up on the spot, or is that real?
That's real.
I believe it either way. Yeah. Round 2, question 3 category is history.
History.
In the Lucasfilm video game Battlehawks 1942, players can participate in 4 pivotal naval battles of the Pacific War: the Coral Sea, the Battle of the Eastern Solomons, the Battle of the Santa Cruz Islands, and what 4th battle, which was fought on an atoll roughly equidistant between North America and Asia.
Yeah, I'm in. I agree. Let's lock that in.
Lock it in.
Now, as much as you say you want to have the chance to play the game, I think so far on almost every question you've actually typed in your answer first, but that's because you have the fastest thumbs in the East.
That's correct.
So yeah,
his wrist action is amazing.
Supple.
Sure plays a mean pinball. So Nick, what do you know on this one?
Growing up,
Jesus, all right.
I had a friend of mine whose dad started a business when I was in elementary school. He called the business NVP with the letter N instead of M. Stood for National Video Players. And what he did, and keep in mind this is in the late 80s and early 90s, is that he got a space and filled it with actual CRT TVs, because that's all that existed at the time, and bought a bunch of Nintendos and Segas and then Sega Genesises when it came out, and bought all of the games. And
Genesis.
First, we're not seeing things, and now it's genocide.
The basic premise was, it's $5 an hour and you can play as many video games as you want. And the thing was set up next to a grocery store. So all of the parents would drop their kids for the hour so that they could have an hour of grocery shopping. Amazing. And you can play that. So every game that ever existed on Nintendo or Genesis or Super Nintendo and every system that came out after that, I have played extensively because my parents wanted me out of the house as much as possible. One of those games we played was 1942, which was a pilot game. It was kind of like pick up the upgrades and shoot the bad guys coming down, and it was the Battle of Midway.
So I don't think that's the actual video game that's being talked about here.
Oh, is it not?
It's not, but I mean, 1942, it is actually based on true events, as far as I'm aware. I think there actually was a Battle of Midway. At least that's what I've been told by the people who control history. So.
I thought the 1942 was like the big font, but Battlehawks was the little font at the top.
That's possible. That's possible. Yeah. I played 1942 as well. Yeah, so I mean, roughly equidistant, the midway point between North America and Asia. So yeah, I think that is right. It's a video game question about Midway, but not that Midway. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Let's go.
Oh, who made it? Was it that Midway? That would make it even better.
I could have sworn that you were going in the direction of the company Midway was going to be why you figured out the answer.
Yeah, no.
But no, Left Turn at Albuquerque, you just played the damn game, of course.
Yeah.
I'm slowly building a spiteful list of things Nick is good at, so I don't ask questions about him anymore. So that's the last video game question you ever get.
Oh, man, I'm so
that's
screwed
fair.
because I'm good at a lot of the things Nick's good at, too.
That's true.
Early 80s Jonathan, playing on his father's IBM PC with the 5-inch floppy disks. There was a game on there called Midway, and it was a grid of dots. And you had an H for the Hornet and an E for the Enterprise and a Y for the Yorktown. And you were sending out your search planes to try and find the Soyuz and the other Japanese carriers. And it's a full-on simulation with no graphics, just letters representing your ships on a map. I've known a lot about the Battle of Midway ever since. Yeah, absolutely Midway.
The round that I originally wrote this for was based on the names of the new, whatever they're calling the XFL now teams, and the St. Louis team is the Battlehawks. It is really hard to find a question that references the word Battlehawk, which is why we wound up with this. But this is a video game about a bunch of battles, including the Battle of Midway.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Yeah. After the second round, Christian and Jonathan have 50, Matty and Nick have 60. The questions do get harder, so we'll see how that goes. Round 3. Round 3, question 1. Category is accomplishments. Fill in the blank on the Wikipedia page for user A Sticky, which was updated on Wednesday, November 29th, 2023. Quote, I'm now forever the girl who changed is to was on blank's Wikipedia article. It's a sneaky current events question.
Oh.
I like that sound.
Yeah, I don't think, I'm not going to come up with anything better than that. That ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, we're locked in.
This sounds like it's either related to a public figure's death, retirement, maybe a world record holder, something that was a fact and then is no longer active. When did Matthew Perry die?
I think it was around this time. But it feels kind of strange to brag about that. Was there a song?
The phrasing "Forever the girl who changed." That's a weird. Yeah, it's a weird phrasing. So I wonder if the clue is in the phrasing.
Was "Forever Your Girl" a song?
I don't know, but it says "Forever the Girl," so even I mean maybe, but I don't know. Well, we can keep thinking about it. Let's keep Matthew Perry in the back of our mind as an answer if we can't come up with something better. Is to was. Who changed is to was on blank's Wikipedia article. Like a company that failed or went bankrupt or something that was the largest and now was the largest.
1 minute.
November 29th, if it helps you at all, would have been a couple of days after Thanksgiving when whatever this thing that happened.
I believe that was around when Matthew Perry died.
I think so too.
Yeah, for lack of anything else, I guess let's just go with that.
Okay. We're going to guess Matthew Perry.
Matt and Nick.
So this is, I think you guys were spot on in your analysis. I mean, you were dead on. You were breaking it down pretty much exactly the same way that we did. The only thing that happened extra was that we took that one more step. So Christian, when you say it's a weird thing to brag about the death of somebody who was beloved. So we went, yeah, no, it is a weird thing to brag about the death of somebody who is beloved. What about bragging about the death of somebody who was hated? Who died that was hated around that time? And I came up with Kissinger. Kissinger was hated. He died right around that time. Yeah, I'm forever the girl that killed Henry Kissinger. Seems like at least a more reasonable brag.
Well, and the other thing about it, that in retrospect is that he was so old. He made it to about 100, and so he was one of those that constantly was on people's Deadpools, and things like that, where they were expecting him to die, and there was like memes of like the Grim Reaper at a claw machine and continuing to not pull out Henry Kissinger. So I that's why I like this.
I think the claw machine meme was like a Family Guy bit from like 20 years ago, and that was the original, hey, so-and-so is Henry Kissinger even. I think he may have been the original target of that joke 20 years ago.
20 years wrong.
But yes, A Sticky is forever the person who changed is to was on Henry Kissinger's Wikipedia article. Beep. Yeah.
Christian, I'm just not great at remembering people's death stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Jonathan, can I give you some advice on that front?
What?
Last night at the poker game, that was the main subject of conversation, was celebrities that we thought were dead that are still alive and celebrities that had recently died.
Understood.
That's the only reason that was top of mind. The only reason.
That wasn't advice, Nick. That was just like sharing coincidence.
Come to the poker game, you'll learn things.
I really enjoyed the watching Nick typed like it was someone who was hated, then he audibly went, oh. I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's really satisfying. Round 3, question 2, category is science.
Science.
Mercury is one of 2 elements that are liquid at standard room temperature and pressure. What is the other, which is found naturally in the Earth's crust and seawater and sometimes is used in swimming pools instead of chlorine? You should not drink it.
I've definitely known this at one point.
I will tell you the same thing I told my live players, that you should not drink it is not meant to be a hint. It's just a PSA.
We're locked in.
Okay. Christian, I definitely knew this at one point. It might be a halogen. Might be. I'm feeling possibly bromine going way back. There's something calling me to that.
Yeah, science is so not my bag, so I'll go with whatever you think.
Oh,
on
no.
this.
Okay. Well, if bromine is calling me, it might be that we've had the question before, and that's why the bromine thing came around, right? Let's try bromine, Christian.
I'm good with that, yeah.
All right, bromine.
Nick and Matty, I think whoever said it first should get to say it on mic.
No. Go ahead, Matty. You can do it.
Oh, come on. Well, in the words of one of our dear friends, those damn halogens. This is just one of those like kind of chemistry chestnuts, and you nailed it, Jonathan. Mercury and bromine, those are your 2 liquids at room temperature.
Yeah. It's like I always tell people, if you remember something because I asked the question once, that's not cheating. That's just knowing something, and trivia's about what you know. The answer is bromine.
You cheated by looking up the answer in your own brain.
Right.
I would like to thank Ben Young. Your misery in the past has helped me correctly answer a trivia question today. Thank you for doing me that solid.
Jonathan, I can tell you right now, how many people listen to an episode of Trivial Warfare? 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people? All of them have more knowledge about the halogens than they ever did beforehand. Ben has single-handedly educated tens of thousands of people.
For sure.
Round 3, question 3, your category is literature. Battlefield Earth is the name of a 2000 science fiction film based on the writings of what prolific author? John Travolta had been attempting to adapt the 1982 novel since the mid-90s, but was originally unable to get mainstream studio funding.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, Christian, I haven't read your... Yeah, you said the same thing that I'm going to say anyway. Do you want a 3, 2, 1 this?
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, count us down.
3, 2, 1.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Yes, that is correct. When I was in DC for SporkleCon, I went to his house and /museum/Temple Head. It was a wild tour. As long as you lie about your phone number, you're probably safe because they have you write down all your contact information.
Oh, geez.
But I would recommend it to anyone in the DuPont area. It is weird.
So I'll give you this. Before I knew anything about L. Ron Hubbard as a person or what he's done in Scientology, all of that jazz, right? As a 20-something, I picked up Battlefield Earth and read it.
Oh, boy.
It's big. It's very big. It's not bad. The movie's awful. The book was pretty good, especially if you're into post-apocalyptic sci-fi kind of stuff. It was a good read. Yeah, the book. Nick, on his Stanley Cup, Nick has a bumper sticker that says the book was better.
I feel like you don't end up a cult leader with that level of success unless you weave a good yarn. Like, he was good at telling a story. He was also insane.
No argument.
Yeah.
I remember you coming back from the L. Ron Hubbard house at SporkleCon, and you were like visibly kind of a little bit shook. It was wild.
It was so weird. Yeah. I still have some of the literature they gave me just like around my house for people to find. It's fun.
She also found out that day that her thetan levels were off the charts.
No, they had one of those things, and we're both like, I'm not touching that. I don't care. I'm not touching that. And we didn't. Okay. Round 3 scores are as follows. Christian, Jonathan with 70, Matt and Nick with 90. Still anyone's game.
No, it's one of those situations.
70 is a very good score.
I should have never let you be together. This was a mistake. I knew I knew it when I saw the team assignment. I should have never approved it when Kit sent it.
Basically, what you're saying, Jonathan, is I should have taken Matty and put him on my team.
No, Matty stands alone. Matty doesn't need your help.
Oh, you wanted to go 3v1?
She stands alone.
We can switch it up in the second half.
I was going to say, if you guys want to switch now, I won't stop you.
All right, Erin, you take Matty as a partner. I'll host.
Midpoint. Category is Pop Punky Brewster. These are befores and afters, where there's 2 parts to each question. One part is song lyrics by a pop punk or emo band. Don't at me about what categories bands fit into. I'm not going to engage. And the other part is something else that smushes in with the name of the band. So I'm going to give you song lyrics. You give me the band, and the band is half of the question and the other half is just a thing. I made these as accessible as I possibly could. So we will see how this goes. Okay.
All right. Now, one thing for us to all note is that emo pop punk bands are Nick's spirit animal. Like his Patronus is Fall Out Boy, just as a band. So here we go.
But these are bands where a 5 out of 10 should be enough. So that was part of the analysis.
So, but hang on. So Erin, what? I'm sorry. Clarify.
I think
what
we're just
exactly
have
are
to
we
see
looking for
it in
as an
action.
answer?
Would you like an example?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If you were just a kid and life was a nightmare, you might have been forced to watch a viral 2020 conspiracy theory film on YouTube that featured a disgraced anti-vax researcher. So,
what? Okay.
I'm just a kid and life was a nightmare is a lyric from a Simple Plan song. And the viral 2020 video is Plandemic. So your answer would be Simple Plandemic.
Okay.
That was one of the easy ones, Jonathan.
No. That was one of the hard ones.
No, I had no idea.
Here we go. The group that assured us that we were only at the midpoint apparently still had as many as 3.5 games to go in a tournament that was originally named for a newspaper. Number 2. A practice whereby you eat and then leave without paying for your meal is selfish, it is wrong, it is flawed, even if you are cleaning up so well. 3. The position player in a 1938 sketch that throws it to tomorrow for a triple play also wishes that you would step back from that ledge, my friend. 4. I know you swear that you are true, but I'm still going to choose my friends over you, even if my friends get all giggly about the name of the furnace used in glass blowing. And 5. We'll carry on, just like Kathleen Turner in that 1984 movie where she rescued her sister from Danny DeVito.
Number 1, that is like the lyric, the group that assured us blah, blah, blah?
No. We are only at the midpoint. The assurance that we're only at the midpoint is the song. So the group reference, you're right. That doesn't quite fit
Okay. Yes, I agree, Christian, on that one, even with the missing letter.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Erin, you neutered me by doing this in before and after style.
I know. Damn right I did. Gonna call it in about 30 seconds.
All right, we're locked in.
Cool. Christian and Jonathan, give about 10 seconds to talk it out, and then we'll roll with it.
It's a great round, by the way, Erin. Very well done.
Third Eye Blind is the band. The song is Jumper. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. I got who, what, I don't know, why, because, today, tomorrow.
I mean, if it's not...
I don't know how to fit Third Eye Blind with any of those.
If it's not a perfect before and after, then it's Third I Don't Know. But
that's not the name of the band, though.
Right.
Like Third Base Eye Blind? Third I Don't Know Blind? How does that work?
I need an answer.
The first one was Jimmy Eat World Series. Yeah. The second one...
This is Dine and Dashboard Confessional.
There we go. Yeah. The fourth one is... This took a long time to get the band. Newfound Glory. Newfound Glory Hole is our best answer?
Yes.
Which I'm concerned with.
That's why you'd be getting giggly over it, so I think that was right.
Number 5 is Romancing the... No, My Chemical Romancing the Stone.
Yes. That's what
Number 3 is Third Base Eye Blind. I really don't have the connection, and it's very irritating.
I think we should go with Third I Don't Know. I think
Third I Don't Know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nick and Matty.
Yeah, Nick, this is all you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we got to him together because what Erin cleverly did was take something that is extremely strong for me, which is the pop punk bands and lyrics, and mixed it with a before and after to completely neuter my ability to be good.
That is my special skill.
Right. So yeah, Jimmy Eat World Series, Dine and Dashboard Confessional. We ended up with I Don't Know's on Third Eye Blind is where how we interpreted that one. Number 5 was My Chemical Romancing the Stone, and then number 4 is where we got it. I pretty quickly got to Newfound Glory, but we could not for the life of us come up with the name of the furnace used in glass blowing. So much so that I began to doubt myself, and we tried to come up with bands that ended in kill, like Bikini Kiln, right? Kind of thing. To try to come up with something that fit Kiln, but we ended up going with My Found Glory Reactor.
Right. Okay. So 16 points to both teams. Jimmy Eat World Series. It's called the World Series not because of its geographic capture, because it was originally sponsored by the Weekly World. Dine and Dashboard Confessional. Good job. Don't do it. My Chemical Romancing the Stone. Yes. Jonathan, I was trying to tell you, don't second guess yourself, because I pulled up the script. Mm-hmm. I throw the ball to first base. Whoever it is grabs the ball, so the guy runs to second. Who picks up the ball and throws it to what? What throws it to I don't know. I don't know throws it back to tomorrow, a triple play. So I don't know's on Third Eye Blind was the answer to that one.
That was a challenge for me because it has a connective piece that's not part of the statement. It's just like the joke line, so that's why I didn't get it. That's
so it is. They do say I don't know's on third several times earlier in the skit.
Yes, they do. Absolutely.
Yeah. Who's on third? I don't know.
Okay. And then as indicated by the giggling that Matty and Nick started doing when they said it, number 4 was Newfound Glory Hole.
Ah!
I considered that. But I thought this was...
you wanted to be sensitive to people's... Yeah. I said, screw it. Give me the points.
So the name of the furnace used in glass blowing is a glory hole?
It is.
I think I have heard that before.
Mm-hmm. My mom is a glass blower, and I don't like her talking about it around my friends because they giggle because it's funny, and she doesn't find it funny.
Does she understand it?
Oh, I mean...
If she doesn't, I'm not explaining it to her. That's not my job.
I just love that there are words that are legitimate use words that people can use that make other people giggle because of the subjective use of the word or the
like
whatever.
Albert Pujols.
Yes.
After the midpoint scores are 86 to 106, still anyone's game.
I'm most upset that I didn't get an answer that included glory hole. That's what bothers me the most.
I was shocked. Very disappointed in you.
Matty, I need you to be less smart for the next half. If you could try. You haven't been trying very hard to be less smart.
All right. Well, I'll see what I can do.
Mm-hmm. What are your weaknesses?
I can't run very far.
Round 4, question 1 category is art. In April of 1820, a Greek farmer discovered 2 large pieces of marble, a third smaller piece, some fragments of arms, and a hand holding an apple. The 2 larger pieces are on display in Paris. What was the name of the island where the farmer lived? I'll paste it.
It's extremely important clarification there, Matty. I would not have understood otherwise. We're locked in.
Christian, is this the Venus de Milo?
No, because she famously does not have arms.
Neither. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the reason that I'm asking is that the arms could have gotten lost or damaged. They were already unattached. You see how it says 2 large pieces of marble and a third smaller piece, some fragments of arms, and a hand holding an apple. Those things aren't attached.
Right.
I'm not saying that's right, but Venus de Milo, I believe, is named as such because it was found on the island of Milos or something like that. Venus of this place.
That could make sense.
I think that the clue of the question is going to be that this is an answer of a place. So blank de blank, right?
That makes sense, yeah. I didn't know that the Venus de Milo has 2 pieces to it.
I do not know that either. unless they are attached to each other, which can be done.
Sure. Okay.
I'm not locked in on it. I'm not saying let's do that. I'd love to have other options.
The only other thing that comes to mind is I'm aware of something called the Elgin marble, but I think your answer is probably better because I don't know any details as to what that really is. It's just something I'm aware of that exists.
Okay.
But some fragments of arms, yes, at rereading it, that does make sense. So I think we go with your answer.
Okay, we'll give it a try. Let's say Venus. I'm sorry, the name of the island. We'll say it's not going to be Milos, or do you want to just say Milo?
Milo's fine, I think.
All right.
Matty and Nick?
Yeah, so we kind of heard that the same way, that this was referring to the Venus de Milo. And when I first sent it through on the chat, it came through as Milo's, Milo *S, which is a brand of tea that you can buy at your local store. But yeah, this should be on the not a sponsor of the show as far as I'm aware. No,
not yet.
So, but yeah, so this should be the island of Milos.
All right, so the Elgin marbles are a collection of ancient Greek sculptures from the Parthenon, from the Acropolis, removed from Ottoman Greece and shipped to Britain by agents of Thomas Bruce, the 7th Earl of Elgin. Just more looted stuff in the British Museum. That is not the answer. The answer is Milos or Milos. This is the Venus de Milo. I accepted both. Yeah,
right.
Cool.
Nice work, Jonathan.
Yeah, there's a lot of British stand-up comedy about the Elgin marbles and other things that have not been returned.
It's one of my favorite lines. Think of something that's distinctly British but isn't. The contents of the British Museum.
But we took it fair and square.
Right. Round 4, question 2, category is feminism. It has been noted that the phrase, "Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt," passes a test named for what cartoonist who coined the term in 1985. The test measures the representation of women in media and asks whether a work contains a conversation between two female characters about something other than a man. Two named female characters.
Jonathan, I have meow meows on this.
Nice.
All right, we're locked in.
Christian,
right.
talk it out.
Yeah. Well, this question is fun. It's fun home, right? I think that's right. Yeah. So this is Alison Bechtel, right? This is the Bechtel test.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right, Nick.
Yeah. No, 100%. Oh my God, Becky, two women having a conversation. Look at her butt about something other than another man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Passes all the check boxes.
Yeah.
That's true. Though she does.
Christian,
she is one of those rap guys' girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, you have meow meows. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So this is the Bechtel test. I'm a fan of movies, and the Bechtel test I think is one of the interesting things that is of movie theory that has come out, in the past few years. That it really illustrates how limited female roles are in a lot of the things that we watch. So yeah, it's the Bechtel test, named after Alison Bechtel, cartoonist.
Yep. And Fun Home was the musical written by her about her life, which is the joke that Matty made. Yeah, it is Alison Bechtel, and there are some flaws with it. Obviously, it's it's rooted in the 80s. It's kind of doesn't really take into account trans women and that sort of thing. But in terms of consciousness raising about the way that women in media tend to be portrayed, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's Alison Bechtel. Nice job. Round 4, question 3. Your category is literature.
Literature.
In The Tempest, Prospero and Miranda are marooned on an island and decide to enslave the island's inhabitant, as was the custom at the time. What was that island inhabitant's name? Half human and half monster, he has appeared in adaptations of The Tempest, but is also referenced in Robert Browning poems, Marvel comics, and The Picture of Dorian Gray, among other works.
I feel very confident.
Okay, we could go with it. Yep.
All right, we'll lock in.
Okay. And Matty and Nick?
As many Shakespeare questions as you can ask. The monster on the island is Caliban.
And Christian and Jonathan.
The character in the Marvel comics is Caliban.
Many roads to the same place. The answer is Caliban. This one came from a series I did on the Expanse books, because there's 8 different characters in the 9 books, because Leviathan is duplicated. And the third one, I think, is Caliban's War. And it's very subtle, but Project Caliban was the name they give to the monster in the show. And I never bothered to look up where that name came from. And that's where it came from, The Tempest. So good job, you guys.
Yep. Also a main plot point in another Ender's Game book. So that series full of awesome trivia.
Big Ender's
it's a
Game
shame
fan,
since-
and Nick Grows there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame card kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Round 5, question 1, category is completing the list.
Oh, shout
sorry.
out to Andy Saunders.
Andy Saunders?
Yeah.
Yeah. After round 4, Christian and Jonathan have 116. Nick and Matty have 136. Going into
Come on,
round
Christian,
5.
we're still
question
in this. We can do this.
You are. Category is completing the list. And again, a shout out to Andy Saunders. Thomas J. Holden became in 1950 the first name on a list. That list grew out of a conversation between the head of a government organization and a reporter about ways to promote and celebrate the successful work the organization was doing. In 1996, the list went digital. It is still around today. What is it?
Oh, yes, Jonathan. I think that's right.
You do?
Yes, I think you're right.
I'm down for that. If you want to lock in, we can do it.
Sure, let's lock that in.
All right, we're going to lock in.
Okay. Matty and Nick.
Oh, that's a good answer. Okay. Yeah. So Thomas Holden in 1950 was the name on a list that was created by a government organization. I was just listening pieces of the question off when they locked in. That's as far as I had gotten. And then Matty.
Yeah, I wonder if this is just a real. This is Erin. If this is what we think, I mean, it's a great question regardless. But if this is what we're kind of getting an inkling, shout out to Kit, that this is an extremely well couched question. That this successful celebration of work is this very well sounds to me like it could be that Thomas J. Holden was a criminal of some sort, and this is in reference to the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Maybe I've got nothing on it, but it feels right in a trivia way.
Yeah, I think the top 10. I mean, it's a government organization that created a list sometime around 1950 that promoted the successful work that it was doing.
Yeah.
In 1996, it went digital. Fine. That's when everything went digital. Right. And it's still around today. It still exists. So, again, we don't know if it's right, but it checks all the boxes.
Yeah, and I will say that in a vague way, the same way that on the last question, I thought the answer was Caliban, even though I'm totally illiterate and have never watched or read The Tempest. Yeah. And I was like, but that's a name in my head. Thomas J. Holden also is a name that sounds to me like some sort of a mobster or something. So, yeah.
The more you say it, the more I'm picturing a mugshot.
Yeah. So, let's go with it.
Okay. We are locked in with the FBI most wanted.
All right, Jonathan and Christian, you locked in quickly. What'd you say?
Yeah, I kind of parsed the question similarly to how you heard Matty say it. And it was specifically because of the earlier question where we answered Perry and you guys were like, well, what if it was somebody that people hated? As it was talking about government organization, ways to promote and celebrate the successful work. I decided to flip it a little bit and say, what if they were celebrating their success around a bad thing or a thing that is a negative instead of just look how good we are? And that immediately took me to, what if it was criminals? This might be the 10 most wanted list. I bet it's the 10 most wanted list. And that's what we ended up going with.
Unintentional connection to the last question. James Holden is the protagonist in The Expanse. That's not related. The Thomas J. Holden was a robber and member of the Holden Keating gang. The conversation was between William Kinsey Hutchinson of the International News Service and J. Edgar Hoover, director of the FBI. It is the FBI's 10 most wanted list because everything is just propaganda.
That is correct.
Nice.
Good job.
And pigeons are real.
I love watching you guys figure things out. It's so fun. Round 5, question 2, category is the Bible.
Bible.
Literature.
Based on a line from Psalm 127, what is the name of the movement that compares sons to weapons and believes that you don't need birth control because God will give you the right number of children? Although families like the Duggars claim they did not follow this movement, it sounds like maybe they kind of did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on this, so let's lock it in.
All right.
I have a big bunch of an entire bag, a warehouse full of
a top 10 list of nothing.
Yeah.
The arms have fallen off of my nothing.
Number 1 on his most wanted list is the answer to this question. Yeah.
I like the first thing that came to my mind, although I don't think it's in the ballpark here, is the line about beating swords into plowshares. But I'm trying to think of what.
I cannot quote my Bible chapter and verse. So, sons as weapons.
I mean, swords, slings, arrows in a quiver. I don't think I've heard of this movement.
I was going to say, on top of, even if we could parse pieces of this, like what the weapon is or even what the Bible quote is, then we would have to turn that quote into a movement, which neither one of us have any clue on.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that there's always the chance that something's going to tickle one of our, where we're like, oh, we heard something vaguely somewhere. And if the word comes up, I don't want to take all day on that.
Here's where I'm going to go with this. In the very first episode of The West Wing, President Bartlett tells them to disavow the lambs of God. So I think we go with that as the movement and go from there.
Wow. Well, you know, I mean, I guess in the right context, a lamb could be a weapon.
A child, a son.
Sure. Let's, yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Locked in with whatever, I believe.
Lambs of God apparently is what we're
That's
going with.
what you want. Okay. Christian, you had this basically immediately.
Yeah, so I've heard of this movement. I believe it's called the Quiverful movement.
You got to quiver, dude.
Yeah, I was I was very scared when you went down
Christian,
that road.
you had such a good straight face. I saw that you didn't move, and I intentionally didn't even look at you. I kept my eyes completely forward, but at my periphery, I'm like, he's doing a good job right now.
Yeah.
Psalm 127, children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. It is the quiverful movement.
Well done.
Yeah, there's a documentary about the Duggar family that talks about that movement quite a bit.
Never heard of it.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Quiver is a fun word.
It is. Round 5, question 3, category is potent potables. An absinthe rinse, cognac, bitters, usually Peychaud's, and a sugar cube were the original ingredients in what classic cocktail? The cognac was swapped out fairly early after its invention for a different brown liquor.
Christian, I'm not good at classic cocktails. So, I mean, I can chat with you about it, but if you think you know it, I'm going to go with you.
This is the only one I know that it features a sugar cube.
Shh, don't say that part out loud. Don't remind them of what's in the question.
Now we're going to lock.
Damn.
All right, so yeah, let's
wait, they're not really locked in, are you?
No, we are.
We are.
Oh, okay. All right, so
wait.
So I went to New Orleans a few years ago, and I had a couple of these. I think this might be a Sazerac.
Does it have a sugar cube in it?
I believe it does.
Then let's say Sazerac.
Okay. And Matty and Nick?
Well, that just decreased my confidence significantly. I'm not a drinker myself.
What? You said the same thing, and since we said it, you know it can't be right?
No, I think you might have tied up the game here. But no, I this is one of those where I pick up stuff about, you know, potent potables questions peripherally, and I thought that the brown liquor with a sugar cube cocktail was an old fashioned, and Nick didn't argue with me on it, so we went with an old fashioned.
I think part of the reason Nick didn't argue is because he had no idea what was in the question. Yeah, the kind of tip should have been these were the original ingredients, and things have changed since then. Peychaud's Bitters is based in New Orleans, and absinthe is kind of a New Orleans thing as well, so I was looking for the Sazerac.
Nice.
Good job, Christian.
Yeah. You guys have tied it up.
The old-fashioned has like orange peel and like 14 other ingredients, which is exactly why I did not go there.
Yeah. But it's mostly bourbon bitters and just like stuff muddled in the bottom of a glass.
Mm-hmm.
So going into round 6, it is tied up at 146. Round 6, question 1, category is same name. What is the name of the modern-day Iranian city, the 5th largest in the country, that is situated about 35 miles southwest of the ruins of Persepolis? Once the wine capital of Iran, the city is not related to the red grape and wine variety from Australia, South Africa, and southeast France that shares its name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Locked.
Okay. Christian.
Yeah.
I agree that that's the one we're looking for.
Okay.
However, I know that that is also the same grape that does Syrah, which is like SYRAH. So there's like multiple, that grape has multiple different names that are similar to Shiraz. Do you know anything about the location part of this clue? Does that feel good to you? Because I just want to make sure we're not choosing the wrong version of that wine. I think that's the answer I would go with as well, so I don't want to push us off of it. But I have asked about that specific wine and that specific grape because there's other similarly named wines, and it's because of the location and it's grape based. Like it's the same grape, but if it's in France, it's this. If it's in this place, it's that.
I mean, I have heard it called Syrah as well, but Shiraz sounds more Persian to me than anything.
Fair enough. All right, let's say Shiraz.
All right, Matty and Nick.
All right. Well, I mean, it's possible the whole Syrah, Shiraz thing, but we just kind of threw caution to the wind. We figured, Syrah, Shiraz, whatever will be. And we went
I
with
wanted to make that joke after you said it, but you beat me to it.
We went with Shiraz as well. That is the most Persian-sounding version of that name.
Okay. So if there was a way for me to give you the difference between the two in a way that was going to be suitable for recording, I would. I Googled it, and there's like hundreds of thousands of words have been written. I would have accepted either because they're close enough to the same thing, and you can lecture me all you want about why that's a whatever. Shiraz is the answer I was looking for. Points all around.
Yay!
Yay. Apparently it's mostly a branding thing these days. Round 6, question 2. Category is African history. In January
African
of 18...
history.
I pause and wait, and then nothing happens. And then I start talking, you do the thing.
Yep.
That's what makes it fun.
In January of 1879, war broke out between African armies of the British Crown and the 11 tribes of what African kingdom? Despite an early win by this kingdom, they ultimately failed to defend their land and people, and their armies were disbanded, but this is not the reason you find them last on a certain list.
Oh, wow, Christian, you're on fire right now.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I think that sounds right.
This. Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
lock in.
We'll lock in.
So many lists to choose from. We could choose from the FBI most wanted list, or the wine list at tonight's local restaurant.
The list of Jericho.
Yeah, but I think we should go with the military phonetic alphabet list.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, which is Zimbabwe. Is that the right?
It's Zatarans.
Zatarans. Zulu. The Zulu is the answer we are going to go with.
Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation.
How about Zara? Zara? You could have gone with Zara. You could have gone with, what's her face from Spider-Man movies? What's her name?
Zendaya.
You could have said Zendaya.
Well,
Zendaya is Michi.
All right, Christian. Christian's the one getting all of these right in the second half, by the way. All credit.
Yeah, you really want to trade out teams again now that we're tied going in the middle of the 6th round?
I never said I wanted to trade him.
Do you realize how strong your partner has to be to carry you?
You have no idea how much I am aware of that.
Right. So an African tribe that comes at the end of the native phonetic alphabet, it's got to be Zulu. So that's what I went with.
So I'm disappointed in myself because when I asked this question at my game, I didn't include that hint, and everybody said, I don't remember what they said, but everyone said the same wrong answer. So I was like, well, I know it's round 6, so maybe I'll add a hint, and that, yeah, it's Zulu. I should have made it harder. All right. Well, we'll see if round 6, question 3 is hard enough. Category is movies. What is the last name of the 25-year-old woman whose film The Heart debuted at Sundance in January of 2024? Her last name was omitted from promotional material about the film, and her father, who has the same last name, won his second Creative Emmy in December of 23 for his narration of Working, What We Do All Day, although he's more famous for other things.
We're locked in.
Cool.
Well, you call my name into it, Erin. Of course I'm going to look. Luckily, he already removed it.
No, I was just taking pieces of the question and putting the information in the chat for us to parse through.
Oh, I got you. Okay, did you lock in?
It is.
Yes, we're locked.
All right, Christian. So second creative Emmy in masculine, it sounds like last name for the person who won the Emmys. I don't know the woman's name who did The Heart. So I'm going based on the second half.
Sure.
Sorkin, big in TV. Spelling, I think, died. Tyler Perry might do TV.
Has Sorkin really only won 2 Emmys, one for narration, though? That I would find hard to believe.
I honestly don't know, man. I honestly don't know, but I would also find that hard to believe. But he said specifically creative Emmy. I don't know what that means.
As opposed to like technical Emmy.
As opposed to acting Emmy? I don't know. I don't know what that means.
He's more famous for other things.
Like the narration of something counted as a creative.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Could this be Obama?
Yes, it could. I saw some Instagram post about Malia, and some kind of movie thing. I think that's a brilliant answer, Christian.
Okay, let's go with that then.
We'll say Obama.
They said Obama. Maddie and Nick, what did you say?
I think that's a terrible answer because it's right. I had seen the news bit and I couldn't remember who it was. Who was the famous girl who, the famous young woman who had this movie? And then you said Working, What We Do All Day, which is part of that $800 billion or whatever Netflix deal that Barack and Michelle have. That he goes around and interviews people in their various jobs and their workaday life and talks to them about the things that they do. And so, the famous father is, of course, President Barack Obama. And so Obama's the correct answer that we went with.
And let's be honest, he basically just ripped off Mike Rowe, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people went around
dirty
this question
jobs
before.
at the glory hole.
That is a dirty job.
When I asked this question live, a lot of people did guess Mike Rowe, but the correct answer is Obama. Yeah.
Really good job,
Yay.
Christian. Really good.
Really good job of getting to that.
And I'm going to miss where the division line is, but the creative Emmys are awarded in December, and that's for things like narration, camera work, the stuff that no one cares about. And then the Emmys for best stuff, director, actor, whatever, those happen on a much bigger stage in February?
So
they're coming up
creative
soon.
Emmys are not the acting stuff then, or the
Correct.
producing or whatever.
Yeah, the big ones happen at a separate ceremony later because there's 8 million Emmys and ESPN has most of them. So they had to split up the ceremony so it didn't take all night. So it is tied. 176 all around. Your gauntlet category is place your wagers.
Seems like you owe Kit an apology, Jonathan.
Why don't you apologize to her?
Again?
Maybe
Today?
she'll stop hating you.
God, if she stopped hating me, I don't know what I would do with myself. I'd be so confused. The world wouldn't be right.
I know. And then what we'd have, what's the population of the earth? About 8 billion. So we'd have 7 billion number of people who'd still hate Nick Groves.
Right.
Which includes Nick Groves, of course.
You know how much most of all, you know how much I like my perfect record.
All right. We're locked on our wager.
All right. Our wager's locked in.
Question 1, your category of Although its roots are in ancient Greece, the modern corporeal aspect of what performance art was developed and defined by Etienne Decroix and his teacher Jacques Copeau.
Try again. Yeah, I agree.
We're locked on that one.
Okay. Let's give that a go then. We'll lock in our answer.
Question 2. What is the name of the 2023 film, which is available for streaming on Hulu, that has only 5 words spoken in its entire 93 minutes? I have not seen the movie, so I don't know if the 5 words are the 5 words in the movie's title. Don't spoil it for me if it is.
Paste it, please, Erin.
Yeah, I did some editing on the fly, so I'm fixing it.
All right, we're locked in.
Christian, there's some kind of movie that is based on not saying, it's like a horror movie or a sci-fi movie, and you're trying not to say anything because the monsters will hear you kind of thing.
Yeah, that's The Quiet Place. Could
The
this be
Quiet Place. But that doesn't have 5 words in the title.
But this could be the sequel, which unfortunately I don't know what it would be called.
Is that like an Emily Blunt thing or a Sandra Bullock thing or a...
It's John Krasinski and Emily Blunt might be in it. They're married.
Okay. Don't say a word. Do not say a word. Speak not, or forever hold your peace. Shut the beep up, Emily. A great name for a movie.
This is probably The Quiet Place too, but I don't know what the subtitle is.
Something like Don't Make a Sound. If it's the 5 words spoken, like literally like at the beginning of the movie, somebody could say something to somebody else that says something like don't make a sound, or be very, very quiet, or, something like that, which would make sense for a movie title and for a line in the movie. Do not make a sound. It could be that. It could be do not make a sound. That's 5 words.
Yeah. I'm not going to come up with anything better, so sure.
You don't have anything rattling? You can't visualize? Have you seen it in Hulu or seen an advertisement?
I still think it's The Quiet Place. I just don't know what the other two words are going to be. I have no idea.
The Quiet Place 2. Shut up.
Want to go with
No,
The Quiet?
I don't think The Quiet Place is going to be the words, unless it's like, this is the quiet place. But like that wouldn't be a word of dialogue.
Well, she says she doesn't know whether the 5 words spoken are the 5 words. I think it's just coincidental that they're...
It could be, but to have that in the question means that it does sound like a quote. Like it could be a quote as opposed to just this or that.
Again, I don't have... So let's go with your guess then.
All right. Do not say a word. Okay. Yeah. We'll lock in.
And question 3. The first patent for what type of technology was granted in 1936? It described how to use a process of phase advancing a wave in the region around the targeted area by inverting the polarity. In the 1950s, this technology was applied in aviation. Today, many of us use it in our daily lives.
All right, let's go with it.
Okay. We're locked in.
Technology from the 1930s. The patent was in the 1930s.
Yeah.
In the 1950s, they put it in aviation, and today we use it in our daily lives. You were thinking noise canceling, like headphones?
Well, just, thinking about the idea of, first of all, the theme, the shh theme, which something that you would need. Airplanes are very, very noisy, and they used to be even noisier back in the day. I know that, like, when my wife and I went on a dinner flight thing some years ago, they of course had us wear
Mile High Club. You could just say you joined the Mile High Club.
We only might have gotten a half mile up. I don't know. The pilot was a little bit freaked out, but anyway.
Got about 2 minutes.
That's what the pilot said.
She wishes it was
So that it would be something we'd use today, and they would have used it in an airplane. It would have to do with being quiet. Noise canceling would make it easier for the pilots to be able to concentrate and not have their ears blown out. And many of us use it now. So that's we're not going to come.
Yeah, we're not going to come up with a better answer, though. Like, we have to come up with another piece of technology that we think has been around for 90 years that we use in our daily lives now that applies to airplanes. And I mean, it again, like I've said multiple times this game, it checks all the boxes.
Yeah. So, let's go with noise canceling as our I'm sorry. Let's say we're locked in. Oh, no.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we're locked in.
Nailed it. Going back to the top. Number 1. The modern corporeal aspect of what performance art was developed by some French dudes. Christian and Jonathan, what did y'all say?
Christian, I'd like to point out that we finally got there with what we think is the right answer without ever taking into account the category name, which was really impressive when you look back on it.
Makes it much harder that way.
We went back and forth a while, and then you threw out ventriloquism, which I was like, that sounds good. Let's think about that. Miming is the answer to this question. Yeah, we said miming.
There's nothing more French than a mime, so.
Yeah.
And Matty and Nick?
Yeah, so.
French silent guys. The answer is mine.
Yes, of course.
You put French with the category, that's instigate. We were sitting here trying to figure out what the hell you all were doing.
We were not paying attention to the category.
Yeah. So, but you got there. So, good work.
And we were trying very, very hard to keep a straight face.
A+ poker faces.
That was
we don't know the answers yet. But
that's the longest conversation that we've had in the chat the entire game, just trying not to look up.
2, the 2023 Hulu movie that only 5 words in it are spoken. Matty and Nick?
I saw this on an ad last time I went on to Netflix. No One Will Save You.
Super weird because it's a Hulu property. Someone should look into that. Christian and Jonathan, what did you say?
We had no chance at that, Christian.
No, 0. I've never heard of that before in my life.
Yep, nope, we didn't know. We said, do not say a word.
All right. And finally, the first patent for what type of technology was granted in 1936. Christian and Jonathan.
We went with noise canceling. It fit with the category. It seems like it would work on noisy planes, so it just went with noise canceling technology.
Okay. Nick and Matty.
Yeah, same thing. We just kind of thought about what would fit with the category and all that kind of stuff, and we came around to noise canceling as well.
Okay. Gonna go back to the top. I was sitting here, Jonathan. You were really zoned in on corporeal. The reason it's in quotes is because that's like the technical name of the aspect of the performance art. I was like, please stop thinking about, like, if you say yoga, I'm going to lose my mind.
I intentionally didn't say yoga because it's not performance, but I thought it.
Yeah. And I was trying to figure out a way to be like, stop it. And then you got to the right answer, so it was fine. The answer is mime. Good job. Because I knew you would have been super frustrated if that threw you completely off the scent.
You know, that is what the French seagulls say. Mime, 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 mime.
Boo.
Joel, make sure you cut that out of the final edit.
You don't get to give instructions to Joel. I paid Joel, damn it.
The first patent for noise cancellation technology was developed in 1936.
Good job, Christian.
I read a little bit about it when I wrote the question. It's super interesting. They were able to kind of figure it out, like sound is a wave. So what if we shift the wave so it can't, like, neat, nerdy stuff. And the thing you disagreed on, the 2023 film, I think the sequel to Quiet Place came out before last year, but in any event, it was called A Quiet Place 2,
okay.
I think. And it wasn't Emily Blunt and Mr. Emily Blunt vehicle. The Hulu movie that I still haven't seen it, I've heard it's fine. It is called No One Will Save You.
Hey, Nick Groves.
Yep, nice
is that a quiet-based thing? Is that a silent movie? What's the scoop?
So it is, and again, I haven't seen it. It's an alien invasion movie. It's the story of a woman who I think is kind of reclusive, and aliens invade, and there's just no dialogue in it. I don't believe that having to be quiet is a plot point. It was a directorial choice. There's only 5 words spoken in the whole film.
Wow.
It does not pass the Bechdel test.
You don't know.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to go ahead and say it doesn't.
Yeah, seems unlikely. Because it doesn't matter. You guys can now tell us what you wagered. Christian and Jonathan, what did you wager to get to 41?
We had options. We were tied going in. That means you got 2 options, really. Either bet it all or bet nothing. We considered both. Christian suggested being aggressive, so we went aggressive, and we bet the 176.
And Nick and Matty.
Matty and I talked about it, and we were tied going in. And when you're in that situation, you have 2 options. You either bet it all or you bet nothing. And I talked to Matty, and he said, let's go aggressive. So we bet 176.
All right. So with what I believe is a correct final score of 352-0, your winners are Matty and Nick. But this was a close game. Y'all all did amazing.
Very good.
It doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good at all.
The closest 352 point
nothing game
margin in the history of Trivial Warfare.
Congratulations. You guys were amazing.
Legitimately,
to beat us, you were amazing because we were already amazing.
Right. We were legitimately discussing rock, paper, scissors strategy based on how the game had gone to that point.
That's what they were doing while y'all were trying to find the word mime.
Yeah.
Yes.
We definitely slowed down as the time went in, whether or not we needed to be discussing that.
Well, that is going to wrap us up. Good game, everybody. This is the part of the show where we like to do shout-outs and promote causes that we care about. Maddie, you are on the winning team today. We are going to start with you.
I don't have any particular cause, but trivia is wonderful. The TWA is wonderful. And go out, learn something, be curious. And most of all, as we've tried to do here today, have fun.
Be wonderful to each other.
I love that.
Yeah, be excellent to each other, even.
Oh, also, if you use any sort of a service, tip well, please.
Yes.
Yeah, good call. All right, Christian, over to you.
I'll shout out what I always shout out whenever I'm on a podcast. My good friend Jay Borsum, the hardest working woman in trivia. She runs trivia on Twitch, twitch.tv/liquid_courage, courage with a K. It's the best trivia you're going to find on Twitch. So go check her out.
She runs a great game.
I was just listening to the Nick Groves Star Vehicle, Things That Are Blank, and heard you do that exact shout out. And when that's a recent episode, and when I listened to that, I was like, hell yeah, I agree with that. Let's go support Jay.
Yeah.
All right. That is going to wrap us up. So for Matty and Christian and Erin and Nick, my name is Jonathan. This has been episode number 466 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, Join the community and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit propodcastingservices.com.